Hello friends, uh, I'm back for another video after a very long time on YouTube. So this video is basically on the slowdown in the Indian economy. There has been lately a truckload of discussions and news articles and whatnot that, oh my freaking god, the Indian economy is slowing down and the Modi government is responsible for it. They give shocks to the economy and this is not good, and so on and so forth. Uh, all of these people, in my opinion, are just scaremongers and nothing more. Frankly, for 10 years, the UPA government robbed our economy in the name of liberalization and growth and whatnot. They pumped in almost 4 lakh crore into the economy in private debt as well as public debt. I mean, some of that debt was in infrastructure, some of that debt was in other things. Along with that, the sixth pay commission came, which just pumped in so much economy, so much of the economy with so much free money, I would say. I mean, these government officials did not deserve that. What do they do that deserves 70-80,000 bucks in salaries? When the same person hired as a private contractor gets 25-30,000, why does the government employee get 75-80,000 bucks for the same job? That is just discrimination. And not just that, it's overpayment to these people. I don't think this is even a political matter. I just find that unjust. So, sixth pay commission was one of the reasons. Along with that, 40 lakh crore rupees pumped in 10 years into the economy was like just pumping the economy full of steroids to get growth in whatever way possible. What that did, most importantly, was it devalued our currency in such a way that we cannot even think of going back to 45-50 rupees, for a dollar. When the Congress took over, the rupee was 47-48 to a dollar. And when the Congress left, it was being kept at around 60 a dollar forcefully. Right now, it's above 70 a dollar. And this is not the fault of the current government. The current government is just barely trying to keep up with things, trying to uh, clean up the whole system of all the muck that was put into it by the Congress government. Look at these scams that they came with. I mean, they ran away with. The 2G scam, the INX media scam, which is still in the limelight, the Colgate scam. All of these were just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. When the Congress government took over, we had $40 billion in surplus. When they left, we were left with a deficit, 70-80 billion dollars worth of deficit. That's where we were left in 2014. So this is what our government is trying to grapple against, and we are just getting to know all the things that have happened, all the skeletons in the closet of the government that have been left by the UPA. So this is not a doing of the current government. I mean, yes, these shocks are absolutely necessary to make more compliance. What is important is that we understand our duty as a citizen and we pay the taxes that we have to pay, and then we demand the government to do the right thing. We keep them on their toes to make sure that they are always complying with what they are meant to do, and we pay our taxes and obey the laws so that we are compliant with what we should be doing. That's the way of dharma. If we forget dharma and we go by the Western ideologies, and we talk only about rights, then that would not create a situation where we, as a people, as a nation, as a country, prosper and raise our standards of living. A welfare state runs when the people and the government come together. And that's what Narendra Modi has been trying to do in the last over 5 years. So they gave a lot of chances to people with black money to surrender their black money, and they would be left with 60, 50, 40% of whatever they have as black money. A lot of people did that too, but a lot of people thought that it's not good in any way. Now what they need to do is punish these people with 100%, 150%, 250, 200% of taxes, so that they have to comply, and there is absolutely no reason that they don't comply. They don't create black money in the first place. That's very important. And for people who have previous amounts, they definitely should be able to submit and keep some of that so that they have incentive. Other than this, we have all these new things which are not not exactly friendly to criminals, I would say. Criminals like Mehul Choksi and uh, Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya, who took the bank's money and ran away. For them, definitely it should be absolute hell. But yes, IBC needs to be configured in such a way that it should not be misused by people just to bring down a company. Like a competitor just wants to destroy another company, they send a bunch of their suppliers to their competitor, and then before the competitor can comply with everything properly, they just take the competitor to bankruptcy court. These sort of conspiracies are going to happen, and I think they are happening already. So we've lost a lot of value in the market because of this sort of thing as well. And a lot of banks don't want to take anyone to IBC because of this thing, that as soon as a company goes into IBC, its market value starts to crash. So that's also a challenge that we have to address. There are challenges in banking, there are challenges in NBFCs, there are challenges in the auto sector. Most important challenge with the auto sector is its grandfather like behavior, where it does not wish to change to the new regime of electric vehicles. It wants to keep going with ICE, quite simply because it has invested years of research into ICE engines. And even more so, if they really did invest all that years of research and money, it doesn't seem to show, because by now we should have had vehicles which could go as far as 40 kilometers on 1 liter as a car, but we don't have that yet. So I don't see where the research is. Now, if you talk about an electric vehicle can definitely go 10 kilometers on 1 kilowatt for a small vehicle. Not even a small vehicle, but a medium-ish vehicle can go 10 kilometers on a kilowatt. A scooter like a Honda Activa, that can go for 50 kilometers on 1 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt costs 8 rupees at the max. So the equivalent to 1 liter of petrol is 10 kilowatts of electricity. A 10 kilowatt battery will give you 80 kilometers of range. So we are looking for a 20 kilowatt battery, and that's costing so much that they are not able to bring the cars into India. That's a little preposterous to me. because that's not really the case. I mean, you have to look at the cost in terms of all the years that you are paying the loan. You are paying 5 6,000 rupees as operational cost plus servicing 5,000 every year, and along with that you are also paying 10 to 15,000 in installments for any hatchback or any medium normal car. And if you are paying the same amount or much lesser in operations of an electric vehicle, then that car is cheaper. To look at the lump sum of the car is kind of stupid. So that's from the customer's perspective. From the perspective of the manufacturer, definitely this will cost them to reassemble, to refit the whole assembly line for electric. It's going to be costly, but they have to do it because there will come a point when the new startups which are coming up with electric vehicles, they will definitely trump them in all the technology, and we will have a larger variety of vehicles, since these vehicles are not being produced in the kind of volumes that petrol or diesel vehicles are produced in cars. I mean, in bikes it's only petrol. Eventually there will be petrol and electric bikes, and that's going to happen 100% sure, because Revolt is already here. The Revolt 400 completely sold out. Revolt 300 may be slower to sell, and similar thing is there with Aether also. Aether 450 is sold out, but 350 they are discontinuing because there's not enough traffic. And they have to understand that if you give less than 100 kilometers in range, then nobody is going to buy it. So at least 120 130 kilometers of range is absolutely necessary. So that's about the auto sector. I mean, auto sector should not be given any kind of mercy at all, in my opinion. If the old belligerents have to die, they should be allowed to die. And all these engineers, they need to form collectives and start their own thing. When these old automakers die, I'm sure that they will have to sell their factories at dirt cheap prices, and collectives will be able to buy them off. So if they don't want to see that ugly death, then they have to change. If they keep going by this old grandpa type of attitude, then that's not going to help them. There isn't a real slowdown in economy, so to speak. Auto sector may be seeing this slowdown because they produce too many BS4 cars, and they are finding it difficult to transition to the new regime of electric vehicles. And the NBFC sector is finding a bit difficult because they were also doing some malpractices. Mostly, if you look at all these sectors which are facing difficulty and people are crying over them, that oh my freaking god, because of Modi government's policies this has happened and that has happened. Let me say this very straightforward. Your importance and the value of your work is known by the size of your enemies and how loud they cry over you. If everybody from the old establishment media, the old establishment political parties, they are crying wolf over Modi government's policies, then they are definitely doing something right. And I believe that it should be continued. We should continue to become a harder compliance state, so that uh, people don't run to India just to store their money and not really help us in development. So that's my take on it, that everything that has been done, including demonetization, including the punishment for black money, including uh, the GST, and all the new measures that are coming. The most important one that came was recently by uh, the finance minister Sitaraman, uh, equating almost equating or making the corporate taxes more competitive in comparison to the world. So that's a great step, and more of these will definitely come. But for these to come, we as the people have to learn how economics should run, the proper principles by which business should be done. Business is not about opportunism, it's about honest hard work. So unless our big billionaires, all these stalwarts of business, they stop being jerks and stop looking for shortcuts for growth, and stop being over ambitious and just do their tapasya as required, we will not be able to grow. And that's the point that the government is trying to drive home. If we want to become a $10 trillion economy in 12 years, then for that we have to change our regime drastically, and that's what the government is trying to do. So, crying brouhaha over all of the good stuff that is happening in this government, this regime, is pretty stupid of all the media that is doing it. And I would say all of you need to dive deeper and find out the reality of things, and not just say, oh, Modi government doesn't do anything, it just brings up jumlas. It doesn't just bring up jumlas. Crores of people have come out of poverty in the last 5 years. It's giving free healthcare, free gas cylinders, and so much of the basic facilities for the poor, which has not been done before. So, to all the people who are crying over the temporary slowdown of Indian economy, I only have to say this much, that either you yourself are crooks or you support crooks. That's what this video was about mostly. If you want to add more to what I have to say, then definitely I would welcome your views in the comments. And I'll see you in another video. I'm not sure when, but I'm thinking about doing a new series for animation. So I hope to see you soon. For till then, goodbye.